Mr. Terkper, you have a better view of this situation because of your previous position as finance minister. What is wrong and what needs to be done? How urgent is this?
Thank you very much, Samson. First of all, I'm with lawyers, and so I hope you can pardon me, including yourself. But let's go to Chapter 13 of the Constitution. State-owned enterprises are the only ones, or the majority, where exceptions are made for the establishment of separate funds for their operation. When you go to their laws, they are the only ones who are allowed to borrow on their balance sheet, own assets, and incur liabilities. I won't say the only ones, but they are in the majority. Some agencies have those clauses. So the premise of a state-owned enterprise, and the reason why they file, and Professor Lord Mercer can correct me, under IFRS, not IFSAS, is that they are profit-making. Having said that, we do appreciate their economic, social, and political importance, if I may, pushing that agenda. So if I may be very specific, to explain our policy, the self-financing policy, which I believe the MD for Ghana Water attempted, to say was something wrong. Yes, Ghana Water has the responsibility to provide water to the whole country. But the water that is provided in Accra, I won't be specific in certain areas, it's not the same as the loan that is taken to provide water in rural Ghana. Our policy was self-financing. And we are saying, let us segment the market. Let us segment your portfolio, just as I am segmenting my loans. And I'm saying that if I take a loan and you are providing water to a community, which, let's say, I won't say 100%, but up to 80, 85% can pay for the cost of water. I don't see any reason why that loan should not be recovered. That is one principle of this. Secondly, we were also saying that if we have an airport tax, it's a tax, remember, right? And we want to construct an airport. Why should we not fall on that tax when that project will bring in other services which airport company can use to pay for its operations and expenses? Why would you want to take? So the state ceded its share of the tax that goes into the consolidated fund, took the portion of tax, bundled it, and I can assure you that in these instances, KJT is another example. Let me not go into Ports and Harbors Authority is a typical example. Port expansion, MPS, and the rest. I can assure you something that when we bundle these commercial elements, as opposed to the social element of these state-owned enterprises, the money that was projected was sufficient for us not to issue a sovereign guarantee for those loans. You can check the records. So there was no sovereign guarantee issued for airport company. And we were in the process of bundling, that loan, which, and talking to real estate companies who want water, sent to their sites. You look at the economy, you look at how it is evolving. And they were willing. We had started the discussion. We couldn't finish. For water to be extended, after all, they are going to pass on the water to the consumers, metered. We were going to have prepaid metering and the rest. So I'm saying that if those policies, I'm explaining the rationale. Why am I explaining this? Today, we do not have access to the markets. And that will come with the inability of the state to issue sovereign guarantees for debt. And even if it did, it will be at a very high cost. If we have a model where commercial projects by state-owned enterprises, as opposed to their social elements, rural electrification, self-help is a good example, as opposed to consumption, energy that is consumed by consumers, Ghana Water, water to, for lawns, right, to wash cars and the rest, shouldn't they be paid for? If we can ring fence those, and say through the utility regulators that these elements must be self-financing. That is the only way in which we would reduce the dependence on the state for everything. Now, therefore, it brings, if we do that, in fact, the state-owned enterprises, the repayment of the loan was not going to go back into the consolidated fund. Let me emphasize that. It was going to go to the entity. So if you take airport company, the goal was if we can prove to African Development Bank, as we did, and bring in the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund as a vehicle that was going to manage those loans and the rest, not central government. And we can gradually build confidence. Then we were going to take that model and go to Pram, since the budget was constrained, and do it on a self-financing basis. Tamale was going to be on a self-financing basis. The only public element is the tarmac, maybe the arrival and departure halls and the rest. Warehouses can be done by private sector because it was to be a hub, for lifting flour, things from the Volta Basin and the rest. We wanted to cost in this. Am I saying something new? No. Few people would understand. When we were doing the self-financing, I kept saying something. I believe I was even on this, saying that Akosombo Dam paid for itself from the tariffs, VRA. And I had a discussion, on this forum where VRA was being applauded in the past for borrowing. Cocoa Board is self-financing. Today, Cocoa Board is making losses. Cocoa Board had never been, Cocoa Board's rating has always been better than that of sovereign rating, the country as a whole. Now, that leads me to another point. Therefore, if you look at, there's 2 points, then I may want to cede the space. First, if you look at the dates that we're talking about, we are comparing 2019 and 2020. We are not in 2022 or 2021, the financial statement, stand for correction. Is there something about the economy where these same state-owned enterprises were making profit going into COVID? 2020, they made profit. Whereas even the preamble to the report, the CIGA report, was excusing them away based on COVID. As I've always said about the economy itself, let's stop blaming everything on COVID because we have a fiscal gap of 5% of GDP, before COVID. So is there something reading between the lines that suggests that, maybe as a result of CIGA's, oversight compared to say SEC and the rest, something positive was happening? I would want us to look at some of these mechanisms, which yielded report, some results. Luckily, I'm not talking only about the structures we put in place, which prevented us from issuing sovereign guarantees, even when things were difficult. But we are looking at state-owned enterprises with better oversight, I would say to some extent, which, were in a period of COVID. Of course, COVID could favor some entities. If you look at ECG, read the report, it would seem as though the period we were all locked down in the cities, consumption, of fuel went up. Just as we are using Zoom and the rest, where previously you would lock, and go. Is there a point of efficiency, which we can learn from this sense? Then my third point, which I like to, then I'll come back, I will see the floor.
Yes. Please hold on for me. I need to take this break, and I'll return to take your third point. And my guest would like you to now, the elephant in the room. It appears that this matter is being brought up, including by those in charge at the helm, so that we can facilitate a certain acceptance by the citizens for further privatization of some of these entities. But why not? If all they do, even those that are supposed to make profits, never really are making profits. And the question that some people have been asking is, for example, how does a GMPC say it has made losses? And they are asking, in 2019, there was this memo that came out in the public about sponsorship donations that they were making, 400,000 for preparation of, Damba Festival by the Dagbon State, 20th anniversary of the Ochehene, there was of 500,000 going into that, GJA 50,000, Ghana Boxing Association 30,000 US dollars, the Rebecca Foundation 120,000, IOCO 550,000. People are saying they are not justified to claim that they have made a loss. We'll be right back.